Today I'm going to show you a way to access and treat this trigger point that's commonly associated with IT band pain and just general hip pain. I'm also going to give you a corrective exercise at the end of the video, which will help alleviate the pain pattern by correcting some misalignments in your hip. The muscle pictured is the TFL, the Tensor Fasciae Latae, and we are going to be focusing our work here because the fascia of this muscle connects with the hip and the IT band and can many times be the culprit when dealing with IT band symptoms and general hip pain, like shown here, where the trigger point tends to refer pain. So to get into this muscle, what we're going to do is turn one leg out and keep the other in towards us here. So some people call this a 90-90. Which would be more out like this. In posture therapy, we refer to this more as a diva pose. So when you move the outside leg into this position, then the TFL makes itself very apparent. So you'll feel a big, bulky muscle in here. And if you just start to feel with your fingers, you might start to feel those areas that jump out to you. And so you want to make sure you can get into this comfortably, or else there might be more discomfort after you sit like this, especially digging into your leg. So make sure that you can get into this and your hips are fairly even on the floor and you're not up like this. So you can just begin to palpate, and then what we can do is use the elbow. So you can either use this pointy part or more of the flat part that's going to be further down your forearm. So you want to just feel around lightly to see if there's a spot that you want to start in. What you could also do to get a better picture of this muscle is to look it up in a book. So then you can really visualize where it's at and what it does. So once you pick a spot, just kind of sink in. So you're going to use your torso instead of using the shoulder. You're going to just kind of lean into it. So you want to sink into a spot for a little bit. Now the tissue might not release right away, so you might have to wait up to 90 seconds to even really get it to shift. So just be patient. Might help to breathe into it so you can get a little bit deeper. And then you can start to kind of move around. So you can almost like go into different vectors of it. So another technique that I like to do, speaking of vectors, is you get into a spot, so you kind of sink in. So you're grabbing the tissue and moving it where you want to. You're not sliding on top of it. So once you sink in, then kind of drag that forward and back, forward and back. So kind of like sawing it back and forth, but you're dragging the tissue at the same time. So then we're going to go in a different direction. So you're sunk in and you're going to push down the leg and pull back. So we're just going back and forth now in that different direction, going down towards the knee. And then if you want to add another dimension, then you can kind of rotate to make sure you're sinking in and twisting. So sink and twist. And you can do that as far down as you can reach or as far down as you'd like. So sink and twist. And then you can even go this other direction if you want. So we're really hydrating the tissue in all different vectors, all different directions. And then you should be getting in a little bit deeper, so then you can kind of explore other areas and different depths of the tissue. So remember to stop this exercise if you're feeling any discomfort in the hip or the knee, because it can put a lot of stress on that. So try not to stay in this position too long if it's tough for you to stay here. For this exercise, you'll need to lay on your back with palms down. Cross one leg over the other, placing your heel in between your first and second toe. Next, you'll activate your thighs and use your hip muscles to rotate to one side while turning your head to the opposite side. You'll want to hold this exercise for at least 1 minute on each side. Now, it is a tough exercise, so just do what you can and keep practicing it. But I like to hold at that first restrictive barrier and just keep activating and holding, and you can see that it makes a little shift forward as it releases and goes to that next barrier. So you can keep holding from here, or you can relax and go to the other side. And a little tip to get an even better release is to really try to breathe out through your side ribs when you're in that full twisted position. So practice deep breathing and try to breathe east-west or make your whole entire rib cage expand.